Hello, boys and girls. So yesterday we started looking at decimal place value using money. So we're going to continue to look at just place value of decimals and still connecting it to money so you have that connection, but we're going to be looking more at just the actual, using the actual terms, tenths and hundredths, instead of using dimes or pennies or dollar bills. We're going to look at whole numbers, tenths, and hundredths. So we have Juan is competing in a game show. And every time he answers a question correctly, a bulb lights up. Okay, and this is what the board looks like when he is done at the end of the show. So we want to know how you could describe his score. Okay, so this is what the board looks like after he's done answering all of his correct questions. You could come up with a couple different things. We could say he answered a lot of the questions correctly based on what's shaded there. Okay, and we could actually pull out an actual amount. If I said how many questions did he get correct, you could start counting all of those little squares. Now I'll give you a hint. This square is equal to one of our little hundreds, our flats, if you remember in the classroom. Okay, one of those grids. There's 100 squares in there. Okay, each of these columns, okay, is 10. So if I was to count, it would be 10, 20, 30, 40, okay, and you would count up, and then we have some extras. And it would save some time as opposed to counting all of these little squares, okay? So I could say this first column is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and 80. So we're at 80 so far, okay? And then we have those three little extras. So we have 83. So he answered 83 questions. But I did say a few minutes ago that this whole thing is equal to 100. Or, I'm going to put a little decimal in there. I want you to think of it as equaling to one whole. I want you to think of that grid as one whole. Or a dollar. Think of it as equaling a dollar as well, if that's easier. So if that's the case, he answered 0.83, okay, or 83 hundredths, right? Okay. If you were to count, he had 83 hundredths. Okay, and if you wanted to think of this as money, 83 cents, okay, so 83 of that dollar, okay, but 83 hundredths, and I say hundredths because that's my place value that it ends with, so we say 83 hundredths. And this will make more sense. Let's take a look at the next screen here. Okay, and here we are. We have that same grid that we just had on the other screen here. Okay, but we also have this nice little place value chart to help us now. Okay, so the place value chart relates back to this, just like we showed on the last screen. These tenths, okay, or that 8, represents the full columns of 10. 5, 6, 7, 8, okay? And then this 3 right here represents the 3 little extras, or the 3 little ones that are left in that other column that didn't quite fill up the whole extra column. So we have our 80, okay, which is our tenths, and then we have our 3, which is our hundredths, okay? So that's why we would read this number as 83 hundredths, okay? So on your chart tonight, you're going to have a grid just like this, and you're going to have to count it and fill in the place value chart, and then write the decimal for us. Okay, boys and girls? Thank you.